Welcome to Headphone News, Greater Toronto edition for Thursday, December 5, 2024.
Canada Post strike disrupts mail services. A strike by Canada Post, the national postal service in Canada, has led to major disruptions in mail delivery for more than 3 weeks. The average number of letters Canadians receive has dropped significantly, from 7 letters per week in 2006 to just 2 letters per week in 2024. Currently, over 80,000 passports are waiting for delivery in Mississauga, Ontario. Delays are also impacting health card renewals and at-home cancer screening kits. Charities like Vancouver General Hospital and the UBC Hospital Foundation report a 40% drop in donations due to interrupted mail campaigns. This strike highlights the essential role of mail in our daily lives, especially for seniors and those needing urgent documents. Labor disputes over wages and working conditions triggered the strike, and ongoing negotiations may determine how long it lasts. The effects of this strike extend beyond individuals waiting for documents. They also impact charities and public services that rely on timely mail delivery. Understanding the importance of postal services in Canada is crucial during this disruption.
Delays on Toronto Subway Line 1 due to signal issues. Signal problems have caused delays on Line 1 of the Toronto Subway, affecting travel between Finch and St. George stations. To assist commuters during this disruption, shuttle buses are running between Finch and Bloor stations. The Toronto Transit Commission, or TTC, manages public transportation in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. These delays can be frustrating and disrupt daily routines. Regular maintenance and updates are essential to avoid future issues. It's important for commuters in urban areas to understand how reliable public transportation is. The TTC plays a key role in city mobility, and ongoing challenges highlight the need for improved infrastructure.
Toronto mother wanted for parental abduction. A mother from Toronto, Canada, is currently wanted in a parental abduction case. On December 2, 2024, a court issued a custody order granting full custody of her 7-year-old daughter, Madeline, to the father. The mother, Camille Young, who is 41 years old, has refused to obey this order and is actively avoiding giving up her child. Authorities believe she may be driving a white Lexus hatchback. The vehicle has an Ontario license plate that reads BLTE 430. Camille Young is about 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs around 115 pounds, with brown shoulder-length hair and brown eyes. Madeline is described as 4 feet 2 inches tall and weighs about 62 pounds. This case highlights the serious legal consequences of parental abduction, which can lead to criminal charges in Canada. There are resources available for parents dealing with custody disputes, emphasizing the importance of understanding their legal rights and responsibilities.
Emergency room visits in Canada highlight primary care challenges. A recent report from the Canadian Institute for Health Information, or CIHI, shows that 1 in 7 visits to emergency rooms in Canada are for conditions that could be handled by family doctors. Around 5 million Canadian adults don't have a family health provider, which leads them to rely more on emergency services. The report also points out that 26% of emergency visits by children aged 2 to 9 are for manageable issues like colds and ear infections. Data collected from April 2023 to March 2024 focused on several provinces, including Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, Ontario, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Yukon. These findings highlight the urgent need for better access to primary care, especially for children, to help reduce unnecessary trips to the emergency room. Increased traffic in emergency rooms can cause overcrowding and put a strain on healthcare resources, raising concerns about overall healthcare costs. To tackle these challenges, we may need policy changes that improve access to primary care and expand options for virtual care.
Trial resumes for Toronto Councillor Michael Thompson. The trial of Toronto City Councillor Michael Thompson has resumed in Bracebridge, Ontario, after a break since October 2024. Thompson is facing 2 counts of sexual assault related to events that allegedly occurred at a cottage in Muskoka in 2022. During the trial, a woman accusing Thompson testified that he touched her inappropriately but denied telling another witness that he digitally penetrated her. This contradiction raises serious questions about the trustworthiness of the statements given. The outcome of this trial could affect public trust in local government and may influence future sexual assault cases in Ontario. Depending on the result, Michael Thompson's political career could be at risk. The trial highlights ongoing societal issues surrounding sexual violence and underscores the need for accountability in public office.
New leadership at Metrolinx to tackle transit delays. Michael Lindsay has been named the new Chief Executive Officer of Metrolinx, the transit agency for the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area in Ontario, Canada. He takes on this role as the agency aims to complete the Eglinton Crosstown LRT project, which has faced many delays since construction started in 2011. Premier Doug Ford has highlighted that opening this light rail line is a top priority for Lindsay. The project has encountered several challenges, leading to significant setbacks. Lindsay plans to collaborate closely with construction partners and government officials to speed up its completion. Finishing the Eglinton Crosstown LRT is vital for improving public transit in Ontario, easing traffic congestion, and boosting economic growth in the region.
Matthews shines in Maple Leafs win over Predators. Auston Matthews scored 2 goals in the third period, leading the Toronto Maple Leafs to a win with a score of 3-2 against the Nashville Predators in Toronto, Canada. The game took place on December 4, 2024. The Predators started strong, taking the lead with a goal from Jonathan Marchessault, making it 1-0. However, Matthews turned the game around with his impressive play, marking his third goal in 3 games since returning from an upper body injury. This victory was the Maple Leafs' 10th win in their last 12 games, showcasing their strong teamwork. Goalie Joseph Woll made 22 saves during the match. With this win, the Maple Leafs improved their chances for the playoffs, while the Predators continued to struggle, holding a record of 3 wins, 4 losses, and 5 overtime losses in their last 12 games. The NHL season remains competitive, and the efforts of key players like Matthews and Mitch Marner will be crucial for the Maple Leafs moving forward.
Arrests in Oakville vehicle break-ins. 4 men have been arrested in connection with a series of car break-ins in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. These incidents took place overnight on November 24, targeting 25 parked cars. Personal belongings, including cash and credit cards, were reported taken. On December 1, at around 1:37 a.m., police went to another car break-in. Officers spotted a white Honda Civic linked to the earlier thefts. The suspects, all from Brampton, Ontario, face multiple charges, including mischief and theft involving less than $5,000 Canadian dollars, which is about $3,700 US. Residents are encouraged to take steps to protect their vehicles and belongings, as being aware of vehicle security is essential to prevent such incidents.
Toronto's new WNBA team name revealed. Toronto's new Women's National Basketball Association team might be called Toronto Tempo. Images shared online showed this name, which briefly appeared on the league's website before it was taken down. The team's logo was also revealed, matching what was seen on the WNBA site. Set to start playing in 2026, this team represents a big expansion for the WNBA, growing from 12 to 15 teams. This move highlights the rising popularity of women's sports and the potential for economic growth in Toronto, Canada. The nickname and branding are key to building the team's identity and connecting with the local community. This development could attract more fans and sponsorships, benefiting local businesses and the sports industry.
TTC takes action against fare evasion. The Toronto Transit Commission, known as the TTC, is tackling fare evasion by deploying inspectors in plain clothes. This issue costs the agency around $140 million each year. The goal is to help riders understand the rules and impose fines ranging from $235 to $425 for those who don't pay. This effort is vital for funding operations, as the TTC relies heavily on fare revenue. By increasing enforcement, the TTC hopes more commuters will follow the rules, ultimately improving the transit system. The financial impact of fare evasion highlights how important it is for the public to adhere to fare policies, as this directly affects the quality of transit services in Toronto, Canada.
Trial of British soldier for manslaughter in Toronto. The trial of British soldier Craig Gibson for manslaughter is currently happening in Toronto, Ontario. This follows an incident at a bar that resulted in the death of Brett Sheffield. On August 28, 2023, Sheffield and his colleagues went to the locals-only bar after a business dinner. Witness Emily Chandler testified that Gibson and a friend arrived at the bar later that evening. A video showed an argument between Gibson and Sheffield around 11:20 p.m., which led to Sheffield falling and suffering serious injuries. Sadly, he died 2 days later from those injuries. This case highlights important issues about public safety in nightlife and the potential dangers of alcohol consumption. Experts say that if Gibson is found guilty, he could face significant punishments, including jail time. The incident also raises awareness about the responsibilities of bars in handling alcohol-related violence and the support available for victims and their families.
Trudeau criticizes Poilievre over Trump tariff threats. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has called out Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre for not putting aside political differences regarding proposed tariffs from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump has threatened a 25% tax on goods from Canada and Mexico unless both countries tackle issues like drug trafficking and illegal immigration. Trudeau recently met with Trump in Florida and later briefed opposition leaders in Canada about the situation. These proposed tariffs could greatly affect trade relations, potentially leading to higher prices for consumers and making it tougher for Canadian exports to compete. The economic relationship between Canada and the United States is crucial, as both countries rely heavily on each other for trade. Understanding the implications of these tariffs is important, as they could impact daily life and the overall economy. That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's Headphone News. News summary brought to you by AI.